Crash, Harmy and I spoke in the first part of the program about David Warner. He's still sledging, even though he's not involved. He said a couple of days ago that England are only interested in winning the moral ashes. But even when it seems to me, and I think I'm biased. I think you know that, but it seems to me that even when he is trying to be, the cheeky chappy, and when he's trying to have a little bit of innocent fun, there's just such a malevolent history there that he just can't carry it off. I
No.
mean, he was trying to be sort of chirpy and cheeky and humorous, but you just sort of well, give it another couple of years and he might be able to do it.
Yeah, well, you're right. And it was a Fox Sports launch, and they love it when he winds it up a bit. I'll tell you one guy who he really, really does like is Ben Stokes. He's his favourite cricketer, and they played together a few years ago. And he likes him, but he does have doubts about Joe Root. Now, Root's an interesting one because the withdrawal of Cummins, as Michael Atherton said, a door open for Root. Cummins has got him out more than anyone else in Test, more than a dozen times at an average of about 20. So suddenly Joe won't have to cope with that. And if I had one tip for this series, it would be that Joe Root, who has never scored a century in Australia, will make one score of more than 150. Because I reckon, you know how when a curse builds up, enough is never enough. A century won't be enough. If it's a flat deck, he'll keep batting, he'll keep going. So I just can't see how there won't be a time when Joe Root doesn't get going with this slightly open door of no Pat Cummins.
I agree. I don't think. I mean, history's telling me in the last few years that there's Joe Root's coming over to average 15. He's not. I think he's coming over to average 115. I really do. I think the way he's playing, the mindset he's in, the environment he's playing in. I reckon you could put your mortgage on Joe Root getting at least 100, if not having the series that Sir Alistair Cook had. It would not surprise me if he goes past what Cook did here in 10-11. Where Joe's at when it comes to his game mentality, and his enjoyment and his love factor. And you throw that, you say Cummins out. I mean, he's vulnerable first 15, 20 balls in Australian conditions when a ball bounces. But after that, we've seen the way he just accumulates runs and then he makes you toil. I've got no doubt he's going to have a great series. And I'm with you on Marnus. I think that's a massive boost for Australia because there's not a fear factor, I think, with England with Constance. I think if whoever comes in next, whether it's Weatherall or the way they do, the talk of, even if they go through one of the older ones of Harris, Bancroft, Hanscom, there's not a fear factor there. I think there's a fear factor in England with Marnus, and I think that would be a big boost, like psychologically, to have him in the runs for Australia. But when I look at the way the series is, like I said before, Crash, I believe that this is the best England team to come since Strauss's team. And I think Stuart Broad said it the other day. I think this is the worst Australia's team I've seen in Australia for quite a long time, especially with Pat Cummins out. So I'm back in England. I really am. I'm back in England. I'm thinking England, even like 3-1. I really back England to come to Australia, to sledge Australia, and Joe Root have the best series he's had for a long, long time, because I'm that confident that England will win.
Harmy, I've never seen you like this before.
I know. I'm excited.
One thing I've noticed, when you lean forward and you cross your arms, it means you mean business. So I can. I'm almost worried you're going to come through and end up on my couch. So, but I want to roll a theory past you guys. I read it in Greg Chappell's book today. Fascinating theory. He's worried about Cameron Green at number 3, and this is his theory. Is it true or false? I'll put it to both of you. He said tall guys should not be batting in the top 3. He said he's the tallest batsman ever to play for Australia, and they're easier targets. Greg said, I knew myself, balls that passed over Bruce Laird's shoulder hit me on the body. He said, have a look at the most successful. He said, I know people will occasionally pick someone out who bat in the top 3 like Matt Hayden, say he's tall. He said, but pound for pound, 9 out of 10 are shorter guys. It's hard to beat a big guy at number 3. I want him down the order. As a bowler, all right, is that theory true or false?
I think I like the theory because I think there's a lot of. I mean, Matt Hayden was a ridiculously talented cricketer. He didn't move his feet that well, and I think a lot of them was about hands. I'm not sure Cameron Green's got as good a hands as Big Matty, or the technical ability is what Matty's got. But I think and I'll go up one bit further than what Greg Chappell's saying. He's going to come up against extreme pace. Now, if the thing for me with tall guys is sometimes they lose balance, and if they lose balance, your technical ability becomes questionable. And against extreme pace, because England have brought pace and extreme pace. Gus Atkinson, probably one of England's slower bowlers, will bowl in excess of 86 miles an hour. You've got Wood and Archer. If one of them plays in every single format, every single game, all of a sudden you could have a number 3 walking out to 93 to 95 mile an hour. Your technique's not right, then you're in trouble. That's what you have with Constance as well as Green. So yes, I think what tall batters do, they lose balance. And the minute they lose balance, and I think he's not the only one, Cameron Green. I would be amazed if Cameron Green batted number 3. I think that'd be a massive mistake for Australia, because his bowling is going to be under pressure, because the older guys are going to have a lot more overs to bowl. There's going to be a lot of things going on. Having it number 6 and having his bowling would be much better balance for the group if he bats there. If he bats number 3 and has to bowl the overs, that 15 overs an innings, shall we say? I mean, that's a big ask for somebody who isn't an established international cricketer.
Yeah, it's funny you say it, Harmy. I've never heard that theory before, the tall man theory, but it was funny. The next chart I looked up was cricket's greatest run scorers, and there they are. What do Brian Lara, Sachin Tendulkar, Alan Border, Sangakkara, all these guys got in common? Short, quick feet, hard to hit, So, yeah, and may I say, Greg Chappell loves Cameron Green. He was the first guy to say, this guy's really outstanding. Get him in the team. He could captain Australia. So it's very genuine criticism. Like he's worried about Green, that he will be exposed in this position. He doesn't like it. So, mate, Ash's discussion's magnificent, isn't it? Look at us. We could talk for hours.
It is. And we've got the problem as well. We've picked a player. We've picked a player for the last 3 years who's averaged 30 in Test match cricket. Well, 29 in first class cricket, 30 in first class cricket, and 29 in Test match cricket. And he's 6'5" and he's opening the batting. And we're telling the world that we've picked him for Australia and Zach Crawley. So Zach's got some technical faults because of the size he is. And you're right. The vertically challenged batters are always the ones that seem to score the most runs. It's ridiculous.